I haven't confirmed this yet, but Kevin Brennan poked his head in yesterday and goes, Anthony, did you hear? I'm like, hear what? Yes, I don't know. Someone told me Opie said your book was lazy. And I'm like, Erock is confirming this? And then I go, where'd you hear that? He goes, I don't know. I'm just spreading things. Fucking Brennan is hilarious. He's like, I guess that's how bullshit gets spread around. Someone just walks in and goes, they heard it. Brennan's genius, man. I love that motherfucker. So, did he say it was lazy, Erock? You know what's lazier than my book? Not writing a book. How about that? How about never having written a book? That's probably lazier. How about picking up shitty recording equipment and going to a bar and recording 4 hours and busting it up into a thrilling 2-parter? How lazy is that?
Wait a minute, is this the bit? What's lazier than you writing your book?
What's lazier than my book? Or Opie? Let's see. What's lazier than the person that didn't write a book that calls my book lazy? What did he say exactly? Did you hear it?
Yeah, it's like the last 20 minutes.
But I thought he didn't read my book and wasn't going to read it.
He didn't. He quoted, he has people that look out for him, and they gave him all the details. And I'm not elaborating or going off context here. He actually said he has people that look out for him that are giving him the information.
His guardian angels. People who look out for him. First of all, this is a lie. It's another one of the grand Greg Opie Hughes lies. He doesn't have these people that look after him. No one would. No one likes him. That's just the plain, honest truth. So he talks about these people, but never mentions who they are. Who's reading my book to report back to Opie what it's all about?
Well, I know one, his new producer, Mike the cop.
Oh, right, because he had to get a cop as a producer.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Because he's not lazy.
Ooh, he's ripping me off.
Totally ripping you off, Keith. We invented cops as producers, Robin. What the fuck? So lazy. So some other guy told him it was lazy.
Yeah, his people that look out for him.
People that look out for them.
Yeah.
Are they literary experts or anything like
They could
that?
be anybody.
Is it the Philly crew?
I don't know.
Maybe it's the Philly crew.
Is not reading the book lazier than writing the book?
I would assume not reading the book lazier than the writing of the book.
And having someone read you the book.
Yeah, having someone read it
is
Having
lazier.
someone read you the book. Couldn't he just, if that's the case, couldn't he have just gotten the audio version? And wouldn't that be like the guy telling him? Only it's right from the horse's ass. Me. I don't get it. Lazy, right? No, Opie, you're lazy. You're fucking lazy. You always have been. He tried to make it look like he was motivated to do things. But what was that? Going out to lunch with the boss every so often so you could rat out everybody on the staff? For fucking and then run to that person and go, yeah, management's not too happy with you. And then when management would try to fire them, Opie would go back and go, nah, give him another chance. Then he'd go, I saved your job. No, you were the one that had me almost fired. Right, Erock? Right.
It was as someone who's been in that environment, that morning show world. Yeah. It was so fun to be like, oh, we weren't the only show that was dysfunctional as fuck behind the scenes. Yeah. Like you see it all play out, and it's just great behind the scenes. Look at that whole world.
Oh yeah.
People just have this thought like, oh my God, I love listening to these guys. They're best friends. Like
they hang out
all day together, and
that's what Opie wanted. He wanted like me and him to hang out together all the time. He wanted phone calls and texts like a Mary. Like a fucking Mary.
What guy wants to talk to another guy on the phone?
I talked to you for 4 fucking hours. All right, I talked to Jimmy for 4 hours. You were in the room. But I'm supposed to text him? Ooh, you watching Melrose tonight?
Well, you got to be careful here.
Why?
Because this is what he says is part of the problem is that you obsess over him and you don't stop talking about him.
Again, the last time I talked about the likes of Greg Opie Hughes was the last time he said something stupid about me. So, you know, it goes both ways. Had to have someone read the book and then report to him that my book is lazy.
He reiterated that point a couple of times.
That what?
That he has no
That he
interest
did,
in
right,
reading
right.
the book. He's not going to read the book. He had people who...
He wants it known that he never listens to this show. He didn't listen or watch any of the podcasts I did out in L.A., and he would never read my book. And he doesn't know that Chip Chipperson's show in Philly was a packed house at the Fillmore. And we stayed over an hour after the show to do signings and pictures with the fans. But he knows nothing of this. He has people that take care of him, that report back.
He complained about the forward, too, about Jimmy's forward, and saying that was bullshit because something in the forward about Jimmy talking about his mom calling in the early years of XM saying, is something wrong? Are you and Opie not getting along together, whatever?
Yeah.
And Opie just said there's this whole thing that Jim doesn't give a fuck about his parents and went into these details about how Jim won't go see his parents and they have to squeeze in time when he's available. And
First of all, Jim's a busy guy. He does see his parents. They've gone to some of his shows. I know I've met them there.
That was one of the things he's talking. I think it was Caroline's or something that they had to bring Christmas presents to one of Jimmy's shows because that was the only time they were going to see Jimmy for the holidays.
That's Jimmy too. Jimmy's twisted. We know this.
I know.
We know that. Why is he trying? What, you think Greg Opie Hughes can paint a picture of Jimmy that's any more twisted than Jimmy is painted of himself? Are you out of your fucking mind? At least he's funny. At least Jimmy's honest and funny. And by the way, I know I was on the other end of that phone call from Jimmy when he said, dude, I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. The motherfucker, I can't do it. And I'm like, no, I'm going through the same thing. And Jim was like, holy shit, you are? I thought you two were like, I thought it was a you two and me thing. I'm like, no fucking way. Please don't leave me alone with this asshole. I can't do it. Yeah, that was a key moment in the Anthony-Jimmy relationship.
And look, I'll give it a plug just so people don't think we're making anything up or talking tales out of school. But episode 64, it's part 2 of the two-parter. It's the last 20 minutes where and they wound up cutting him off at the end.
Isn't it weird the episode number is the same as the IQ in the room? It's is that
not nice to say to
coincidence?
Garrett.
I don't mean your room. I meant Opie's room.
Oh, okay.
Episode 64. Get it? That's called profoundly retarded. So
It's there. He laid it all out. So we're not talking about. We're not embellishing. We're not making stuff up. This is all reacting to what he said.
He is the worst, man. God, is he terrible?
Power. It seems like a power grab.
It's
the
all
stories of Patrice and Burr and those guys sitting outside for an hour.
He
It's
would
like,
make them
dude.
sit out there. Rich Voss, Patrice,
Bobby Kelly was one
Bobby,
of them that was most vocal
and
about
we
that.
would just be in there, and for the most part, it was me and Jimmy riffing. We're just hanging out, having a good time.
With a board up.
Yeah, with a board up. And we would be like, yeah, Patrice is out there. And he's like, yeah, no. He kind of takes over the room. I just want to, you want to what? Exercise your power as the guy that can keep him in the hallway? Because you have no other fucking input on this show? But that once Patrice comes in, you know you're completely out of the fucking mix? Because you don't even have the fucking, you shouldn't even be in the same room with Patrice. Maybe now.
I mean, that's some of the best radio that I've ever heard.
It was
you and
fucking
Patrice
amazing.
and Norton. I mean,
Amazing.
shit with Bobo, the up and down game with Bobo, the hailing a cab on the street, like those.
Yeah, those were
legendary
huge moments. But he just, I don't know. And the whole thing, like, I guess Bill Burr was doing his show, and he was doing it from a room next to his studio, instead of in the studio at Westwood. And Bill's like, what are we doing in here? You know?
Yeah.
This is where we're doing it? And I was like, yeah. And I honestly came to the conclusion that I believe this sincerely, knowing this guy for over 20 years, I sincerely believe this. Opie is so petrified of being exposed for what he is, which is a fraud. He's just a fraud. He's not talented. He gets people around him that know how to talk. He's not very smart. He's not compelling when he tells a story. He could spin a record. I know he was able to edit phone call tapes together and things like that back in the old days when he was at BAB. He made a nice little niche for himself doing that. But when it came to full-scale talk radio, he's incompetent at it. He can't do it. So he wants to he goes, yeah, I'm going to mix it up. I'm not doing the same old thing where you go in a studio. I'm going to go to a bar, or I'm going to do this, and we're just going to get a few mics, throw them around and talk. Because he can't then be measured for success or to critique him amongst his peers of people that are in a studio doing a show, a real show.
Yeah.
And as long as he can't be measured by that, he's safe. His insecurities he's safe there. Once he's in a studio, he can be compared to other people.
Yeah.
But the second you try to compare him to Joe Rogan or Corolla or me or anyone else that's doing a show, he'll say, well, you can't even compare it. What I'm doing is totally different.
I'm in a pub.
Right.
You know, I don't have the tools and weapons.
That's the only reason he's doing it like that. Because he's so fucking insecure about his abilities, which goddamn he should be, because he's got none, that he puts on these shows that you can't really compare to anything else. It doesn't make it unique. It's an excuse so that people can't critique him.
Yeah.
And that is, I swear to you, I know this motherfucker 20 years. That is an absolute. I know that's why he's not doing it from a studio.
You're obsessing again.
I'm so obsessive. So all he does is talk about me. That's all he does. Joe's, delivering those to various stations. I think maybe he thinks lightning can strike twice. Maybe Joe gets himself an Opie, a Greg Opie Hughes, to pick him up. And the motherfucker, you know, I compliment him in the book. I give him all the credit he's due for, you know, discovering a Long Island tin knocker to pull him out of his local radio bullshit.
It's harsh, but it's fair.
It is. It's harsh, but it's fair. That's right.
Yeah, I read all of it. You definitely compliment him and say, dude, I would not be here without
He's
without
the guy
him.
that gave me the chance.
Yep.
But motherfucker, 20 years after that, Jesus Christ.
It's just so weird hearing your version and his version. And, like, these guys worked for 20 years together, and nothing adds up on either side. He says that you just blame him for the whole fall of why O&A fell apart. And I was like, everybody had a little bit to do, but everybody else has, you know, admitted their part in it, and except for one person.
Yeah. No, believe me, I know. I'm no dreamboat to fucking work with for 20 fucking years. I get that. But the bottom line is, me and Jim Norton still work together, and we're still fucking unbelievable friends. And we worked together almost as long, aside from the Boston days and maybe the first year of NEW, we worked together for 15 years, was it? So it wasn't, you know, we were able to deal with each other's bullshit and little foibles. Travis, the great Travis Teft, and you and Sam Roberts, like everyone else that works there, they come to my house for Christmas. You know, it's like that Garrett is here working at Compound Media. These are all people that we hung out with, did shows with, worked with, but also had a great relationship and very friendly. Some of those fucking times back in that office at NEW when the show was over and we would stay for hours just drinking, smoking, playing video games, and laughing our asses off at God knows what. I don't remember, but it was funny shit.
Yeah,
And
it was
talking
like
about
on the edge of
girls
something.
and yeah, it was
'Cause
just
we were just like the outlaws, kind of. It was this new wave coming across.
yeah.
That was totally different than anything else. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just really fun. And, you know, it's 2018 and I still know these people. And I know, look, I'm not sitting there like I'm Mr. Saint. I know throughout the years I've been a pain in the ass at certain junctures. But, like, we get over those things. And it was never because no one called me or fucking sent me a wedding gift.
It sounds like grudges were held too.
Yeah, that's
Which is
what it was.
the
There was
thing
a lot of
that
resentment.
guys don't usually do. It's like, you fucked me on that one, bro, and then you get over it. You go have a couple beers, and it's legit gone.
Exactly.
But the power dynamic of from my perspective, reading stuff about wanting to sign a 1-year deal. Which doesn't sound like much to people listening, but it's like when you've got a whole crew of Erocks and Sams and guys back there that work their asses off day in and day out every day for you, they're not paid huge money. They're counting on a 45-year deal. Like
they want to know.
Relax. I can get married. I can have a kid.
I could buy a house. I could do so.
Stability.
You don't let people go year to year because you have this power thing. Like you're holding it over everyone's head that you're the guy that's making it so you can't fucking buy a house right now or a car or decide to have a kid because you don't know in a year if you're going to be making that same amount of money.
Right.
But if you sign a 3-year deal, that's a pretty good buffer for someone that wants to start something in their life. That motherfucker would never do it. I swear, I would go to Bob Eatman and say, a banana, ma baba, God bless. I would go... I would go to Bob and go, I'll sign a fucking 10-year deal. I don't give a shit. First of all, if they want to fire you, they'll fire you anyway. So it doesn't even matter what the fuck that is. But if you sit there and earn your money, they'll pay you for 10 fucking years.
Yep.
And who gives a shit? Like, what did Greg Opie Hughes think that after a year, fucking K-Rock in L.A. was going to come ringing for Greg Opie Hughes' unbelievable talent? To go off to L.A. Thank God I only signed a 1-year deal because now I'm getting millions to replace fucking, Carson Daly somewhere or I don't know. He's such a delusional douche.
The guy making that call, I don't know. I've never met Opie, but you can see like that guy's set. He doesn't have to worry about it. His future's set.
Exactly. He
It's
doesn't
very
have
easy
to worry
take,
about it.
Take that on and be like, no.
Everyone else did.
But everyone else does.
I felt so bad. I would apologize to everybody. Like, I'm sorry, man. We want this done. Because you guys didn't know what the fuck was next. Like, to the day. It was like, oh, I'm here today. Tomorrow I might not have a job.
Look, that one morning in 2010.
Yep, I
we
remember
were all
this.
there. A nor'easter was going on. We were there. The show was starting at 6 at that time. And the lawyers were there, and the radio wizard was there, and he didn't want to sign the papers. He took the newspapers and went to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And came back like 5 minutes before the show was supposed to start. And he finally went in and he signed it and said something like begrudgingly or something like that.
Under protest.
Through the pen.
Under
and
protest.
then walked
your
out
millions
again.
of dollars, you dumb fuck.
Because if he had not signed, we were told by the higher ups that you go to best of until we sort all this out.
Right.
And we're not doing a show that day. Or if he does sign it, we obviously start at 6. And he signed it, stormed out again. And he came back after Ecstasy and the intro was in. He walked right in like nothing happened.
Do you know how in that when he was in the bathroom with the newspapers, he probably jacked off at the thought that everybody at that moment was their lives hinged on what he did next. And he loved it. Oh, did he love that power? Everyone's like just sitting there on the shitter. Everyone's life depends on me.
You're obsessing
me.
again.
Fuck. Oh, I'm obsessing. I'm obsessing again. Oh, it's just so fucking annoying. Ugh. Greg Opie Hughes.
You just want this all to be done with. It's
I
just
love that
enough.
he's saddled with my name, though.
Everyone's
I
got
love it.
everything out. Just enough. Let's just
No,
do
you keep going. I don't mind
Look
hearing
at
it.
Erock, the peacemaker.
Erock,
No,
you lived
I
it. We
just-
didn't. I love hearing this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine
Carrying
how
the
mad
olive-
he's going to be
Olive branch of peace.
when his guy tells him about this. He's going to be
Oh,
so
is
mad.
he going to be mad? When is he scheduled to meet with his guy to tell him everything that he got, all the info that he got? Oh, please. I sent that motherfucker a happy Thanksgiving text to him and his family and stuff. I just figured, hey, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
What do you write back?
Yeah, exactly.
It's coming.
Nothing.
Did the blue turn green so you know that you were blocked?
Yeah, that's probably. And then I sent, the cunt won't even look at me.
How did you do that, by the way?
Whoopsie.
Oh, that's awesome.
Believe me. Thank God
Awesome.
that was the only one that ever happened because now I check. I really do look and go, all right, let me send, especially when I'm texting Gavin McInnes. I don't want those going anywhere else. All right, I'll stop obsessing, Erock. You're right. You ought to bury the hatchet, and that'll never, ever happen. I'm pretty sure of it.
Think you'll ever be in a studio again doing a show of any sort, whether it's just an interview?
I can't see that happening.
Yeah.
I can't at this point. Like God knows what the future holds, but at this point, what did who was it? David St. Hubbins say about Nigel Tufnell and Spinal Tap? No, we shan't work together again. And then they were touring, playing Sex Farm in fucking Japan at Kobe Hall. Working on a sex farm.
Well, just so you know, the whole thing that started this was Anthony's book, Permanently Suspended, which you can buy through the Amazon tab or deep discount
Yes.
wherever.
On compoundmedia.com. There it is. Very, very, very nice. I'm very happy about that. Thank you.